Good evening, peeps. Good bloody evening. All right, before we talk all things boxing, I just want to say a massive thank you to a subscriber, Lupavicianu Clement. Hopefully I haven't butchered your name. Who sent me this wonderful bottle of goodness. Now, I have to be honest with you, I've never seen or tasted anything like this. Chocolate and orange Scotch whiskey liqueur, and it is bloody immense. Like really, really good. So massive thank you for sending that over. Again, it's called the Lock Fine if anyone is interested. But yeah, my home offer license is getting bigger and bigger by the day. One more quick thing. I say quick, this might take a couple of minutes, people. I got a DM. Hopefully this guy doesn't mind me mentioning his name. Harry Aidenhurst sent me a DM. Massive fan of the channel. Thank you very much. Long-time subscriber. Hey, Ade, would you consider doing a video giving advice to up-and-coming boxing news channels? I'm trying to start my own channel inspired by the likes of you and Hatman, but my God, it's so hard to make engaging and enjoyable videos. I think a lot of people would benefit from video advice from one of the best in the business. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. You know what? It's not easy, right? I think that's the first piece of advice I can give you. It's not easy. And I think the reason it's not easy is because you almost have to park your ego a bit. Unless you're famous and have a major following from somewhere else, you might start a YouTube channel and you might not see serious growth for about the first year. That's fact. I know people that have started YouTube channels and they've been going maybe even more than a year, and every video they put out, they're only getting 100 views, 150 views. It's growing, but it's growing very slowly. So you might have to understand that for the first 6 months to a year, your videos might not take off. You might not get the traction that your hard effort and work deserves. So you might have to park your ego a bit when deciding to do a YouTube channel. Because look, I've seen some people start YouTube channels and I've watched their YouTube channels and they're good, they're great content, and then they've stopped just because they're not getting the big numbers or what they perceive to be the big numbers. So yeah, you've also got to know why you're doing it. I did it not for the numbers, not for the monetization, not for any of that, just because I like to talk and I like to talk some shit about boxing. That's the reason. I didn't get monetized. I think it took me about 1.5 years, 2 years to get monetized. So I probably did 500 videos just for the fun of it, just enjoyed them, just loved them. That was my thing. That's the reason I did the videos. A lot of people now are jumping on YouTube and they want to get monetized, they want the money and all that crap that comes with it. It might come, and even when it does come, it ain't great unless you've got a huge following. So don't let that be your chase. The setup, it will come. Everyone wants the perfect setup. I think the two things that I would always say you sort out before you do videos are your mic and maybe the camera. I use a cheap Boya M1 mic, 15 quid, and I'm using my old Samsung S8 to film. I've got a newer phone here, but I like how that looks. That's it. So start. Don't try and wait for the perfect camera and the perfect lighting and the perfect setup. That eventually will come. Consistency is the last and important thing. Be consistent. There's no point doing one video and then you don't do a video for another couple of weeks because you say you're busy, then you do another. Be consistent. Even now, I work at Sky, I do stuff for BT, I do stuff for TalkSport. I still try and do 5 videos a week. You know, be consistent with it. Don't make excuses as to why you're not making videos. Harry, send me a DM with your number. I'll give you a call and I'll go through a few other things with you. But good luck with it. Honestly, I wish everyone good luck. I mean, G-Man was one of those people that came to me and I gave him some advice and he's been consistent with it and his channel started to grow now. I think G-Man might be touching 4,000 subs, 3,500 subs or whatever it is. It will eventually get there, but you just got to be patient and you got to go for it. You know what I did see? Someone just sent me a tweet and it was about all this stuff that's going on with that panorama thing with Daniel Kinahan and etc., etc. And this is a tweet from someone saying, a BBC journalist involved in the panorama investigation into Daniel Kinahan has been warned of a threat to his life. The journalist was informed of the threat yesterday that by the PSNI, I don't know what that is, who have provided him with security. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good for anyone involved, I don't think, with MTK Global's link with Daniel Kinner. You don't want that. You don't want any of that. Like, journalists getting threatened is a bit crazy. And you do wonder if now this has opened up a whole can of worms. I actually thought that the Panorama thing would have just trended for a couple of days, then it would have gone away. This now, I mean, and that's gonna continue. That's now going to continue to grow and grow because a few people with massive followings, like journalists with massive followings, have retweeted that. And yeah, this is now going to be a problem, a big problem. Boy. All right. Shall we talk boxing? Let's talk boxing. I was at TalkSport yesterday and overheard some speculation and rumors, or it could be just BS. I don't think it is BS, but I overheard someone talking about AJ versus Tyson Fury and the pay-per-view cost being £40. Now, I immediately got on the phone to Tom Gray, editor for Ring Magazine, and me and him spoke about it. Now, first and foremost, am I surprised by that amount? No. Am I happy that's the amount? No. Will I pay that amount? Yes. Do I understand why it's £40? Yes. So before I kind of say my piece on it, I'm not like happy and, oh, it's 40 quid. No, I'm not happy about pay-per-view boxing, period. But I understand it now because it's been around so long. We all get it. But I'm not happy, but I can fully understand why they've chucked it up to 40 quid, right? You've chucked it up to 40 quid because demand is so high. It's just basic economics. You chucked it up to 40 quid, people will pay for it because everyone wants to see it. That's what it is. Now, it's a big jump, right? It's a big jump compared to what we're used to, 20 quid. And for AJ's last couple of fights, £25. But I did expect this. I think I've said it in a few videos in the past. I actually expected, if I'm honest with you, for this to be around 50 quid. I was thinking this was going to go around 50 quid. Again, it's kind of like what they did with Mayweather and Pac-Man in America. Mayweather Pac-Man, I think, was $100 or $110. There was never a $100 or $110 pay-per-view before then. The demand was so big, they thought, you know, we can do what we want. Let's charge it because people will pay it. People did pay it. Highest pay-per-view we've ever seen. And I don't think we're ever going to see something like that for years. That's kind of what they're doing with AJ Fury. They know people are going to pay it, and that's why they've hiked it up. Now, look, again, this is just speculation. It hasn't been announced. But I think this will be the pay-per-view price. I really, really do think this will be the pay-per-view price. And unfortunately, I think they know, like I think we all kind of really know, that people will pay 40 quid for it. People will pay 40 quid for AJ versus Fury. I've jokingly said, here's 50 quid, take my money. And I say I've jokingly, if someone, I want to see that fight so bad that I would be willing to pay a bit extra for it. People might get upset by that statement. And look, I get why you would be upset because we're forking out so much in this country already for some of us that have BT Sports and Sky Sports. And, you know, I've got the Premier Sports app, which shows me a bit of American boxing. I've paid for the Zone app. It adds up. I get it. But there are some fights that are worth a bit of a premium, aren't there? This is one of them. This is one of them. And yeah, they're going to milk this for as much as they can. Again, this is speculation. I wouldn't be shocked if it's $49.95. Yeah, I'm saying it now. I would not be shocked. So yeah, that came out yesterday. Now, again, part of me thinks they're taking a piss, right? I mean, pay-per-view costs. I mean, don't we pay enough for Sky and all that stuff, BT Sports? But part of me knows the economics of it. And again, it is a demand thing. People are literally going to go crazy about this fight. And I think they know it. And the magnitude of this fight means it was always going to be more. Like, come on, did people really think this fight was going to be the same cost as AJ Ruiz or AJ versus Pulev, which were both, what, $24.95? Did people really think that? If you really thought that, then you are living in cuckoo land. Cuckoo land. So, yeah. I don't know. Apologies, people, if my words disappoint you, but I am not surprised, and take my money. I'm not rich, don't have a lot of money, but take what I've got because I want to watch that fight. Anyway, to be fair, I'm going to be ringside for it. Well, I'm not going to be ringside. That's bullshit. I'm going to be definitely in the venue for that fight. In fact, I might be ringside. Who knows? Shit could happen. Who knows? All right, let's have a look and see what is going on in boxing world. I'm so intrigued, by the way, as to how this Daniel Kinahan thing, like what happens next. Like, people are retweeting it like mad now about this threat to a journalist's life. That's crazy. All right, Oscar Valdez, I'm not ducking Shakur Stevenson. Miguel Bichel is a way tougher fight. Yeah, it is. It is a way tougher fight. Yeah, Miguel, come on, that's a big fight, you know. Let's see what Oscar Valdez does. I've always said that I think Miguel Bichel beats him, but who knows, right? Who knows? This is boxing. Caleb Plant says, we're close to making Canelo fight happen. Benavidez blew his shot. Not quite sure what he means by that. Did Benavidez turn the fight down with Caleb Plant? Is he maybe talking about Benavidez losing his belt by not making weight? I don't know. But it's good to hear him mention Canelo as opposed to I don't chase anyone. I think he understands now that that's the fight. I mean, Canelo's red panty night. Red panty night. I mean, you get paid if you fight Canelo, right? You get paid. 2 seconds. Let's see what we've got here now. Jamal Herring, I hope Spence Crawford happens in 2021. The rivalry is not personal. Spence Crawford is never happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. Sorry to disappoint you people. That fight ain't happening. Crawford's next fight. I think Crawford's going to go to 154, by the way. I think Crawford's going to seek to win a title in another division and become a 4-weight world champion. I think Errol is going to have one more fight at 147, then I think he's going to go into 154. That fight ain't happening. That fight, it's actually now further, and it's getting further and further away. Ain't happening. I have no hope in that happening. Like, of all the big fights I want to see, I think a lot of them will happen in 2021. That ain't one of them. And by the time it gets to 2022, ain't happening. It's a shame. Floyd Mayweather's exhibition planned for February 28th in Tokyo is now postponed. Just stop, Floyd. Just stop. Why is he still doing this? Is Floyd isn't broke. Look, no, in fact, Ade, I know why he's doing it. It's easy money. It's easy money. He got paid $9 million for that one, 2-3 years ago. It's easy money, but stop. Even all that Logan Paul thing. Jake Paul, stop. Like Floyd, I'm not having the argument. People are going to say, oh, he's broke. Floyd ain't broke. Floyd ain't dumb. Floyd is not broke. I don't know why he continues to want to do these exhibitions. Just park it, leave it alone, move on. Jeez. Eric Morales, Pacquiao can KO Ryan Garcia in 2. A very lopsided fight. Well, Eric Morales should know. He fought Pac-Man, right? That's crazy to think that. Imagine what Pac-Man, this is Pac-Man now at, 42? Imagine what the Manny Pacquiao would do to Ryan Garcia. Like, Morales is saying, this Pac-Man KOs Ryan Garcia. I believe that, by the way, as well. Imagine what the Pac-Man would do to Ryan Garcia. I even sometimes wonder about the Pac-Man of Errol and Terrence. Like, they're dead. Like, I love both of them. I love Errol. I love Terrence. I think Terrence is fantastic. Imagine what the Pac-Man, that guy, the whirlwind. I don't know how old a lot of you are, but I'm 39. I don't have to be that old to go and watch Pac-Man, but I base this up. What I'm trying to say is I've watched Pac-Man from his fights against Morales, Barrera, Marquez, going through Diaz, Oscar, Cotto, Hatton. I've watched him. Margarito. This guy was a fucking monster. right? And these guys now are seeing a Pac-Man 10, 15 years past his prime. Can't imagine what prime Pac-Man will do to these guys. I really can't. Tyson Fury feels Saunders has all the tools to beat Canelo. Okay. And does Canelo not have all the tools to beat Saunders? Something no one really goes the other way, do they? Look, we'll see, man. The fight looks like it's going to happen when? May 8th? Not long to wait, people. Time right now moves like that. I know everyone's upset they're in a lockdown right now. Like, you're going to get to a point where you're out of lockdown. Time waits for no one. Waits for no one. So, look, we'll see what happens with that one. What else we got? Jamal James elevated to WBA World Welterweight titleist. I've no idea what WBA World Welterweight titleist means. All I do know is Jamal James. I don't know if you guys know of Jamal James. Very, very tall welterweight. Almost built a bit like Paul Williams, like 6 foot. He must be about 6'2", might be taller than Paul Williams. Has lost, I think, just the once, and that was to Ugas. Has, I think has 6 or 7 fights since then. I don't know. He's like 32, 33 now, so he's not exactly a young kid. We'll see. Oh, here we go. Keith Thurman. I love the Spence fight. He's got 2 belts. One of them is mine anyway. Okay. All right. Look, you know what? Keith is strange, yeah? Because Keith beat Sean. Keith beat Danny. And so we should really talk about Keith as one of the best welterweights of this era, this generation. I just don't, for some reason. I don't. Maybe it's the inactivity. I don't know why. I just don't look at him like that. Maybe because I feel like him, Sean and Danny could all fight each other 6 or 7 times and it would all be close. Like, he didn't dominate either of them. I think one was a split, right? One was a close unanimous decision. He didn't elevate himself past them, if that makes any sense. Whereas I feel like Terence and Errol, although Errol's fight with Sean was close, so I'm kind of contradicting myself here, but I know they're above those. Does that make any sense? Where I think Furman's kind of just with them. So Furman almost got his belts at a time when Pac-Man was kind of just, I don't know what Pac-Man was doing, right? Just doing not much, if I'm honest with you. Mayweather had gone, and there was no real dominant champion in the division. And he came along, and yes, he was champion, but was never dominant. I never looked at him as like, you're the guy, you're the guy. I never did. Never did. Whereas I look at Errol as the guy now. I look at Terence as the guy. I never looked at Keith as the guy. Let's see. Look, if Furman really does want to fight Spence, I mean, Spence would rather fight Furman than Ugas. Even though Ugas has got the belt, I do think Spence would rather fight Furman. So look, it's a fight that can be made. Spence will definitely take the fight. We'll see. Joe Joyce, talks going well for Usyk clash in April. I can stop him. Could stop him. He's a big lad. If you go and watch the fight they had many, many moons ago, he was a lot smaller. A lot smaller. He's a big lump now, is Joe Joyce. I'd always go for Usyk in his fight. I think I went for Joe against Dubois. That's Dubois. You know what I mean? That's very inexperienced. Credit to Dubois, by the way. He's talking about coming back. I think I saw his Instagram video where he's on a bike. He's doing things. He's already talking about coming back. But yeah, that's Daniel Dubois. This is Usyk. Usyk's another level of boxer. And I just don't see how Joe Joyce beats him personally. That's just my own personal opinion. Have you started to see the posters? I don't know, they're fan-made posters, what they are, about a fight between Joseph Parker and Derek Chisora. Obviously, Joseph Parker's got work to do against Junior Farr. He should come through that. And they are talking about Derek Chisora Parker. They were supposed to fight about a year ago. Yeah, they're supposed to fight about a year ago. Didn't happen because Parker got a spider bite or something. I wouldn't mind it. The problem again is that's not really a pay-per-view fight for me. Nah, I'm not having that as a pay-per-view fight. And the only way that fight gets made is if it goes on pay-per-view. It could go chief support of a Tyson Fury AJ fight, possibly. I mean, for 40 or 50 quid, I mean, you want some fucking pay-per-view fights underneath that, don't you? You want that card need to be stacked, huh? Anything else we got here? Munguia here saying he wants to fight Golovkin. Everyone should try and aim for the Golovkin fight now. I love Golovkin, but that ain't the same Golovkin. Everyone should aim for him. Charlo, Andrade, Eubank, everyone should say I want that Golovkin fight. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they beat Golovkin, but he's definitely there for the taking. Definitely there. Although he did look a lot better on the scales, because I've always thought Golovkin looks awful on the scales. He looked a lot better on the scales against Zeren Mata. So there might be a couple of bits left in him. All right, guys, we are done. That was, have we? Are we done? Yeah, yeah, we're done. We're done. I'm done. I'm done. Peace and love.